If you ever get an Uber request in Savannah with no name and no profile picture, cancel it. I didn't, and I still regret it. It was just past midnight, and my shift was almost over. I was parked outside a Waffle House on Victory Drive, sipping terrible coffee, when a ride request popped up. No name, no profile picture, just customer. The pickup was only 6 minutes away, near East Gaston Street. Now Savannah's beautiful, in the daytime historic homes, oak trees draped with Spanish moss, but at night, this city changes. The shadows feel heavier here, especially in the historic district where every building has a ghost story. Still, I accepted. Bad decision. I rolled up to the pin drop. It was an old corner lot near Colonial Park Cemetery, where the street barely worked. Not a single person in sight. Then, my backseat door eased open. A woman in a long red dress slid in, her hair soaking wet, dripping onto the leather. The air instantly smelled like wet soil, the kind you find after digging into a grave. "Evenin'," I said, trying to keep it casual. "Where to?" She leaned forward slightly. "Home." Her voice was faint, like hearing someone through a crackling AM radio. The GPS updated on its own, routing me out of the city, toward the old stretch of US Highway 17, the one locals say is haunted by the lady in red. At first, I made small talk. "Savannah's quiet tonight, huh?" No reply. She sat still, face hidden behind dripping hair. Every time we passed under a streetlight, her reflection in the rearview mirror was gone. Empty seat, but I could still hear water dripping onto the floor mat. The further we drove, the road narrowed into a 2-lane strip swallowed by oak trees. Spanish moss scraped the windshield like long gray fingers. "Ah, you sure this is the right way?" I asked, glancing in the mirror. She finally said, "Almost there." That's when my phone went crazy. The GPS arrow spun in circles. The music cut off, and then total silence. No engine noise, no tires on asphalt, just nothing. In the mirror, her head was turning toward me, but her reflection's head was turning faster. She leaned forward, mouth close to my ear, and whispered, "You shouldn't have accepted." The headlights flickered in suddenly. I was parked outside my own house on the other side of the city, engine running, alone, no trip record on the app, but on the back seat, the leather was soaked, and the smell of fresh earth. It's still there. If you were driving in Savannah, would you have taken that ride? If you ever worked the night shift on Nevada's Highway 50, don't open the door after midnight. I was covering a night shift at a lonely gas station just outside Fallon, Nevada, right along Highway 50, also called the loneliest road in America. Nothing but desert for miles, and at night, the wind sounds like it's carrying voices. It was around 1:15 a.m. when the chime above the door rang. I looked up from my phone, but no one came in. I stepped around the counter, scanning the aisles. The place was empty, but the door was swinging shut, like someone had just walked through. I checked the parking lot, just my car, and an old black pickup idling by the far pump. Its headlights were off, but I could see someone sitting inside, still unmoving. I went back inside, locking the door. The clock behind the register flickered and reset to 12 o'clock. Then the lights in aisle 3 started, buzzing when I looked down. I swear, I saw a figure tall, thin, wearing a hat, just standing at the far end. His face was in shadow, but his head tilted like he was studying me. I blinked, and he was gone. 5 minutes later, the door chime rang again, this time without the door moving. The sound was followed by slow, deliberate footsteps behind me. I turned around, and there he was inside the store, standing by the freezer section. His clothes looked like they were from the 1950s, covered in dust. His eyes were pure black. He raised his hand and pointed toward the pumps. "Fill it," he said, voice dry as sand. I don't know why, but I obeyed. I stepped outside toward the pickup. The air felt heavier, like the desert had swallowed all sound. When I got close, I realized there was no one in the driver's seat. The inside of the truck was coated in thick dust, like it hadn't been touched in decades. Then, from behind me, I heard the door chime again. I turned and the gas station was pitch black. No lights, no sound, no sign of life. When I finally got back inside, the man was gone. The clock on the wall now read 4 a.m. I'd lost almost 3 hours, and out by pump number 3, that black pickup was gone too. If you were on Highway 50 in Nevada, would you open the door after midnight? If a beautiful woman flirts with you outside a bar on Highway 666, don't offer her a ride. Asterisk, it was close to 2 a.m. when I left a small roadside bar in Gallup, New Mexico. The music was still pounding inside, neon lights flickering on the wet pavement. That's when I saw her leaning against the wall, under the red glow of the exit sign. Tall, stunning, in a blood-red dress that hugged her curves. She caught my eye instantly, and smiled like she'd been expecting me. "You leaving?" she asked. Her voice had that low, smoky tone that makes you lean closer without realizing. We talked for a few minutes. She said she'd missed her ride home. I didn't even think, just offered to drive her. She slid into the passenger seat, crossing her legs slowly. Her perfume was sweet and heavy, filling the whole car. "Where to?" I asked. She gave me an address, but when I punched it into my GPS, it took us down Highway 666 locals. Call it the Devil's Highway. I laughed nervously and said, "We could take another route." She just leaned in and whispered, "No, this one's faster." The road was empty, desert stretching endlessly on both sides. The moonlight made her skin glow pale, almost silver. We talked, but her questions started getting weird. "Do you live alone? Does anyone know you're out tonight?" I tried to brush it off, then noticed something. The red fabric of her dress was darker around her chest, wet, like it was soaked. "Hey, are you hurt?" I asked. She turned her head slowly, lips curling into a smile. "Not my blood." Her eyes darkened, pupils swallowing the light. In the side window reflection, her face was changing skin gray, mouth smeared with crimson. I pressed harder on the gas. She laughed, the sound echoing inside my skull. "Pull over," she whispered. "I'm hungry." I didn't. I drove like hell until I saw the lights of another town. When I glanced at the passenger seat, she was gone, but the seatbelt was still buckled, and a faint wet patch stained the leather dot at a diner. The waitress saw my pale face and asked what was wrong. When I told her, she froze. "Highway 666, she said quietly. "Men been picking her up for years. She always wears red, and they never make it home. If you saw her outside a bar on Highway 666, would you stop?" If you ever see a woman crying by the roadside on Archer Avenue, don't stop. I did, and I'll never forget her face. Asterisk, it was past midnight, and I was driving home from a late shift in Chicago. The rain had just stopped, and Archer Avenue was slick with reflections from the streetlights, long stretches of road with nothing but forest preserve on either side. That's when I saw her. She was standing on the shoulder, one arm wrapped around herself, the other wiping at her face. Tall, long black hair clinging to her skin. A tight white dress that shimmered under the headlights. Her skin seemed to glow faintly, like she was lit from within. She was stunning, but she was crying. I slowed down, rolled down my window. "You okay?" I called out. She looked up, her eyes wet, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Her voice trembled. I just need a ride home." Something in me couldn't just leave her there. I unlocked the door. She slid into the seat, the smell of roses filling the car. Even her voice had this soft, hypnotic quality when she thanked me. As we drove, I tried to make conversation. She didn't say much, just stared out the window, tears still streaming down her face. "Bad night?" I asked. She whispered, "He left me." "Out here, your boyfriend?" I asked. She just nodded, but her hand was clutching her dress near her stomach, like she was hiding something. The GPS route she gave me headed further down Archer Avenue, past the city lights, into pitch-black road lined with trees. I started to notice the air getting colder. My breath was fogging up the inside of the car. "You sure this is the right way?" I asked. That's when she turned toward me. Her tears had stopped. Her face was pale, lips bluish. Her eyes were no longer wet, they were black. "You should have kept driving," she said, her voice suddenly deep. "Wrong." My stomach dropped. I glanced at the road, then back at her, and she wasn't sitting anymore. She was crouched on the passenger seat, her long hair hanging forward, her mouth stretching far too wide, teeth sharp and dripping. I slammed the brakes. The car skidded to a stop. When I looked again, she was gone. I sat there shaking, heart pounding. The passenger door was still open, swinging gently. When I finally made it home, I told a friend about what happened. He went pale. "Dude, you just described Resurrection Mary." I'd heard of her Chicago's most famous ghost, a beautiful hitchhiker seen on Archer Avenue for decades, crying, looking lost, until she's in your car. Some say she's looking for someone to take her back to the cemetery. Others say she's looking for revenge. If you saw her crying on the side of the road, would you stop? If the most beautiful woman you've ever seen asked to kiss you, would you say yes? I almost did, and it nearly cost MIT. Was a humid summer night in Savannah, Georgia. The air was thick, the streets quiet, except for the hum of cicadas. I was walking back from a friend's place, cutting through Lafayette Square, a place locals say is haunted, though I never believed it. That's when I saw her. She was standing under a street lamp, wearing a flowing black dress that hugged her, curves in all the right places, tall, long dark hair tumbling over her shoulders, skin smooth and glowing, almost golden under the lamplight. Her eyes locked on mine, green, deep and inviting, the kind of eyes that make you forget where you are. She smiled, and it was the kind of smile that makes your heart race. "Out here, all alone?" she asked, her voice low and warm. I nodded, suddenly aware of how fast my pulse was beating. "Yeah, just heading home." She stepped closer, the scent of jasmine drifting off her. Every move she made was slow, deliberate, like she knew exactly how to keep me frozen in place. "I get lonely too," she whispered. "Maybe we could keep each other company." We started walking together, talking. She asked about my life, my relationships, my dreams. Every word she spoke felt like it pulled me deeper into her orbit. Then she stopped walking, turned to face me, and placed her hand gently on my chest. Her touch sent a shiver straight through me. "I want something," she said softly, tilting her head, her lips inches from mine. "Just one kiss." I leaned in. God, I couldn't stop myself. Her breath was warm, her lips parting just slightly. But just before we touched, I saw it. Her reflection in the shop window beside us. It wasn't her. It was something twisted, with hollow black eyes and a mouth stretching far too wide, dripping with shadow. I froze. She noticed. Her eyes darkened, and her voice lost its warmth. "Don't you want me?" she hissed. She grabbed my face with both hands, pulling me in, her lips brushing mine. For a split second, I felt my chest burn, like something inside me was being pulled out. My vision blurred. I could hear whispers in my head, screams mixed with moans, like countless voices trapped inside her. Somehow, pure panic snapped me out of it. I shoved her back with all my strength and stumbled away. She didn't chase me, just stood there, smiling, her lips still glistening. "Next time," she said, her voice echoing unnaturally. When I got home, I looked in the mirror. My lips were pale, and I swear I could still feel the heat where she touched me. I did some digging online. Turns out Savannah has an urban legend about a kiss widow, a spirit of a woman who died alone, cursed to seek love, but every kiss she gives steals the soul. If she asked for just one kiss, would you let her? My soul?
Restless Spirits TV. Like, follow, subscribe.